Christian McCaffrey spoke today. I asked Christian McCaffrey about Sam Darnold because I knew what Christian would say. I knew where this was going. They went to the Warriors game together. They're friends. They played together for 2 years. I said, Christian, what kind of quarterback are the Niners getting in Sam Darnold? And he was just, guys, he just went on and on and on about how tough he is and professional and talented and gifted and everything. What did you think of how Christian McCaffrey, like literally the leader and alpha on this offense, gushed over the Niners' third-string quarterback?
He loves him.
Loves him.
Loves him. It's amazing. Sam Darnold must be just an awesome guy, or he like buys every beer. You know what I mean?
He's still got his.
I got you, bro. I got you. Yeah,
he's still got his signing bonus from 2018, and absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, he's either buying everybody beer, or he's just the world's greatest guy. Because he glowed about him, and he's confident. And he's this and he's that, and it's amazing. Kyle talks him up. Christian talks him up. He's a very popular guy, this Sam Darnold.
Absolutely. And I think this is another thing that's working against Trey Lance in this competition is like, I don't think anyone on this team has those feelings for him. I mean, the organization brought him in to replace their friend in Jimmy Garoppolo. And that's not Trey's fault, but that always was working against him. And he hasn't played. So no one on the team can say anything confidently about what he is, what he does, blah, 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 blah. Sam has played like 50-something games. And what I think a lot of players feel is he got screwed. He played for terrible teams, terrible coaches, Adam Gase, Matt Rule, never complained, always got scapegoated. And I think people feel for him. And now they're rooting for him. And they don't look at Trey Lance as being in that situation. Like, he was on the best team. He was in a great situation, and he wasn't ready for it. I think that's kind of how they look at it. So you already have the alpha on the offense in Sam's corner. How long until it's Juszczyk 2? How long until it's Kittle 2?
I'm glad they believe in him. I mean, what's the alternative? Oh, they don't believe in him. So I'm glad they believe in him. But
the tepid praise they give Trey. Oh, he's a good guy. When they don't believe in a quarterback, when they talk about his personality, he's such a good guy. That's not what they say about Sam. No. It's scary.
Though, and Sam's numbers in that last game that you put out on Twitter a few weeks ago was like, that was a horrendous game. So, but I'll say this, his highlight reel, if you just Google Sam Darnold 2022, you'll see a number of really interesting plays where he shows arm strength, he shows mobility, he's got size. Yeah. He played, his highlight reel looks good. Yeah. But so why is he throwing all these picks? And why he threw a bunch of picks at SC too. So it wasn't like he
threw a bunch of picks when he played with McCaffrey. Right. He played with McCaffrey already. He still sucked.
It's amazing.
I'm sorry.
They love him. They love him though. They're talking him up.
I actually think that Kyle thinks that Darnold can do as much or more than Purdy. And I think he wants to prove it. And I think he's going to be so wrong. But you're right. I think he feels like, look, on this team, as long as Darnold just manages the game and doesn't turn the ball over, he can do everything that Purdy can do and more. He can push the ball down the field better. He's bigger. Yeah, but he's a walking turnover, and he's been that since college. Like, you really think that's going to change here because you're giving him McCaffrey, who he's already played with? I call BS.
Personally, I would just love to see Trey Lance be able to run the same offense that Purdy got to run, that Jimmy gets to run, instead of just quarterback power runs and like, oh, well, we're going to run them. How about just
pocket movement, off play action,
shallow
please.
Crossers, dump it to the flat, give them some options, take some shot plays. Don't just, I'd like to see what Trey looks like in an offense that didn't ask him to run, that just allowed him to scramble. Because to me,
hand off and throw like a quarterback. I mean, he's only averaging 4 yards a carry, 4.4 yards per carry. Like, you got 7 guys on the team that'll give you more than that. So let him hand off, because it does seem like defenses are concerned about him running. So good, let him hand off. Let him make life easier for the running backs, and then let him do play action on pocket movement left and right. That's what you do for Brock. I mean, look, the way I look at Brock is that out of the shotgun, he's good, but he's a little small and his arm's a little limited. On play action, he's great because you can move him all over the place. He's so quick. He's a really, really, really good play action quarterback, which makes him a great fit for this team. I think Trey can be a good play action quarterback too. It's just he's always in the shotgun running the zone read. Just saying.
I would, to me, the Atlanta game last year was a perfect example of, I think, what Trey potentially could be. Look what Mariota was. Look how much pressure that Mariota's presence and those totally mediocre running backs put on that Niner front. You never knew
they were on their heels the whole game.
Yeah, they played ball, but see, that's the kind of offense they. It's not necessarily an explosive offense. It's a run heavy. Ball control,
right?
Run your quarterback on 3rd and 1, kind of an offense. Keep the chains moving, dominate time of possession. There's nothing wrong with that, though. I mean, you can win.
Keep your quarterback out of obvious passing situations, like on 3rd and 7. That could be a run, and that's how the Eagles are too. Like they never ever put Jalen Hurts in a situation where he knows he's throwing because they're always winning. They run on 3rd down. They go for it on 4th down. They're the best offensive line in the league. That makes his job a lot easier. I'm still a little skeptical. I like Jalen Hurts a lot, but they just made him the highest paid player of all time. Like, is he that great, or do they do a good job of accentuating all his strengths?
Staying ahead of the chains.
Yeah, all of that stuff.
He's always got play action at his disposal and all kinds of play fakes. But yeah, I mean, it's effective, and they're winning games, and they went to the Super Bowl. And, you kind of wonder, you look at Trey and go, wait a second, he could do all that. All that.
Same with Justin Fields. Yeah. Same with Anthony Richardson. Like it's interesting because I feel like with Trey, he has to learn this whole offense. It's a whole new language. It's so hard to play, especially if you haven't done anything like this before. Brock has. I just feel like what they do in Philly is easy as hell. It's just college offense.
I think Shanahan's prioritizing. You have to be able to take the layups in the passing game that you get, and Trey, in his mind, probably doesn't take those layups. Or doesn't make
then you misevaluated him. Then you misevaluated. I wanted to ask John today, but we got cut off. I was going to try to get the last question. Did you misevaluate Trey, or did he not improve at the rate that you thought he would? Because something happened. What was it? Was it one of those two? What did you miss? Is he not as athletic as you thought? Is he not as good of a thrower as you thought? Or did you think he'd make more strides by now? Because it had to be one of the two, right?
You know what I think, and that conversation is not one that question is not one he's going to entertain on any real level as long as Trey is wearing a 49er uniform. Yeah, when he's not on the team, he would address that. I think if he was being totally honest, and it's a fair question, I think the answer is that they have dialed up the urgency on their Super Bowl window with this group, with Trent and Kittle and Bosa, they can see the end, and they know they've got like this year and next year, and that's it. And so they're looking at Trey going, you know what? We think it's going to take a year or two, and we only have a year or two left. And so I think nothing has happened with Trey. They don't feel any differently about Trey. I just think that they're looking at Brock, and they're looking at their window, and they're saying, Brock fits our window better than Trey's development fits our window. We're all in with Brock, and we'll entertain a deal for Trey. Now the only question is, what are they willing to take?